to midnight presenting Hatebreed's 30th anniversary tour. And they have killer bands coming with them. Carcass and Harm's Way and Crypta. All three of them with Jamie Josta and Hatebreed. Going to happen Wednesday night. That is October the 2nd at the Agora. You can go to agoracleveland.com for any and all details on the show. But I have these tickets for you all week. So caller 10. These are yours. I'll see you there. The Hatebreed 30th in October. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
Studies show that listening to classical music can temporarily raise your IQ.
I feel pretty smart.
If you're looking for the opposite effect, just stay tuned.
The Alan Cox Show.
On 100.7 WMMS.
35192 to send me a text. AlanCoxShow.com to watch. Thanks again to Frank Nintinti for the assistance. That guy eating the leg, by the way, was California. A lot of people had their money on Florida, of course, but it was California that guy did that. So from sea to shining sea, there's wild stuff going on. Bridges collapsing in Baltimore. Severed legs being eaten. And imagine you're first on the scene because that video culminates with a whole lot of squad cars. You know, this person has just been killed in these train tracks, and someone's filming this guy as he's chowing on the severed end of this leg. And clearly out of his mind, right? Just a guy on the street. And all of these squad cars pull up and surround the guy or whatever. And I don't know what happened from there. Because you get charged with a whole bunch of things. You get charged with abuse of a corpse, even if it's a part of a corpse. And he wasn't sucking on the toes. Maybe some people thought that he was going that direction. But if he was,
He's not a freak.
Huh?
He's not a freak.
He's not. He's got boundaries, I have to assume. He was, at the very least, sucking on the wrong end if he was into toes or feet or whatever. I was watching a thing. This guy who is, by all accounts, a pretty, chill guy, a British gardener who has a show that gets shown around the world. And a guy named Alan Titchmarsh, who, by all accounts, is just, if you will, a garden variety television personality. And he has a series on the BBC called Garden Secrets. And they show this show in many places around the world. One of those being in North Korea. I didn't know that North Korea, I don't know much about North Korea other than it's like this totalitarian government. And I probably know the same things that everybody else knows. But I guess I didn't realize that they had any entertainment from other parts of the world. And so they show this guy's show over there.
I think they do, but I think it's all very heavily edited.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
Do you know where I'm going with this?
I don't, but I just assume that they want things to be pretty sanitized so that they can keep that narrative that they're the best place.
Yeah, here's the guy in the garden, and there's nothing. Again, like I said, there's nothing that stands out about him. And so obviously the person is translating, but they blur his jeans. He's wearing blue jeans. Mm-hmm. And they blur them because denim is a mark of American imperialism. It's a symbol of the devils in the United States. Blue jeans. So this guy, now the joke's on them. Because this guy's shirt was also made by an American company. So he got one over on him. But here, you got to figure you're in North Korea, you're watching a television show where a guy is growing food. This is probably like pornography to them.
Yeah, the eggplant emoji actually means eggplant over there.
That's right. Yeah, they're not trying to, it's not a booty call when you get that text in North Korea. It's like, hey, do you have any eggplants? I'm starving to death. And so that is too risque for North Korean television. They blur his blue jeans. So if this guy wants to keep, I don't know how he feels about it or if he even knew that he was being shown over there. But at the very least, he might have to concern himself with wearing different pants. I'm curious if they would blur it out if he was wearing shorts. You know, I don't have obviously a running list of the things that would set off North Korean censors. But this show over there, his lower half, super blurry because they don't want anybody seeing American jeans. Next thing you know, people are going to want to know where they can get jeans. So there have to be an underground jeans situation, by the way, in North Korea. Also, for people who are listening on the app, I had nothing to do with the Progressive boat insurance commercial that immediately followed our conversation on the collapsed bridge.
So petty.
That's
so petty.
The algorithm is always listening, I assume. Stephanie wants to know when we're going to get to a point where Ohio will finally grow our own fruits. Talking earlier about Trader Joe's jacking up their banana prices 4 cents. And, but bananas have to grow in a very warm climate, though. I mean, if you have a hot house where you live, you could grow bananas, but it seems labor intensive.
And expensive.
And
keep the house that hot.
Yeah.
How can you keep the house that hot?
You crank up your heaters, and then
But it's got to be moist, too. It can't just be hot. It got to be moist. It's got to be
tropical, humid.
Yeah, humid. You need humidity.
Yeah.
You can't burn a stove because it'll be too dry. It'll be dry heat.
Yeah.
And that's not what bananas like. Bananas like it moist.
Just the right amount of wet is what they want. More Poundcake. The University of Akron had UA at night. He was asked to host. He was put in a terrible situation, but he was trying to be a nice guy back in 2018 when they were putting together this like student-run hour-long sketch show, and they wanted a prominent alumnus and someone who was prominent in local media. Of course, this was prior to him being named greatest sports talker in Cleveland, so he was still just Poundcake from the Alan Cox Show. But that was enough for them to bring him in for this show called UA at Night. And they had just written, he had no time to rehearse. He looks terrified because it's live television. Except how many people were watching this? Like 15 people? Like it was on local television, but it was also
on the local, like, University of Akron, I guess, affiliate station, and then so it aired to all the dorm rooms, and then it was inside of Colby Hall too, so it was all on the TVs. So I don't know, but it lives forever on the internet.
Right.
I always wondered because I remember doing this, and I was like, that was really bad. I was like, no one's watching it, no one cares. And then it was I didn't know it was on the University of Akron media.
It got sent to me by somebody who was part of this whole production.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't.
Seconds of summer. 300 seconds of science to bring you much-needed education. First off, Sydney Carlisle.
Freudian slip, right? What did you say, 5 Seconds of Summer?
Yeah, they're a boy band.
They're a band, yeah. 5 Seconds of Science. He says 5 Seconds of Summer.
Don't rehearse.
Tell you about how the eyes perceive the camera.
Hello, my name is Sydney Carlisle, and this is...
Oh, my God. I don't envy you at all.
I can't watch it. I'm looking away because it's cringy for me. This is PTSD. It's traumatic.
Back to UA at Night. Everybody, once again, I'm your host, Cody Brown. Now, we've heard some comedy, and you learned a little bit about science, but now it's time to shift gears and talk about something almost all of us can get behind, Akron sports. ZTV Sports Report, John Alfieri, is up next with a special...
No, they just gave you... Why didn't they give you the lines ahead of time? I mean, they were writing up till showtime?
Well...
What a terrible bit of planning.
I think they did give me the lines ahead of time. I didn't have a run-through beforehand. Like they gave
Right, but you could run through them to know what to read. Hey, how do you pronounce this guy's name?
No, by the time I got there, so remember, this is probably when we're on from 3 to 7. If the show's live at 8, I have like
I see.
a half hour, 45 minutes to get from Independence to Akron, suit up, mic up, and do the show. So I didn't really have that time to do that. And again, I'm assuming they thought I was more professional than I actually was.
You bit off more than you could chew.
I mean, I've embarrassed myself before. It ain't no different.
Look at this young man's face. He's standing there in his sweater.
I'm trying to find my U of A parody, my party in the U of A. I'm thinking it's on this website.
Well, that ain't in here.
I found Bridget. Bridget's on here looking marvelous as usual.
Yeah.
I hate her.
While we're on the subject of the university, Matt and Michael, I have some things to say about recent events here on campus. Now, Matt and Michael may have seen different, but their passions for comedy definitely helps them work together. Topics of their report today include bike lanes and Justin Timberlake. I can't really imagine how either of those two things are related, but hopefully Matt and Michael will bridge the gap for us. Take it away, guys.
Doesn't flow at all.
I don't know about you, but this makes me want Bob Evans.
Oh, God. Do we have that?
Huh?
Do we have that live read?
No.
No, it was live.
Yeah.
I'm not recording live commercials. I'm listening to them as you perform them.
Poor guy.
Oh.
Poundcake just trying to make a name for himself.
I understand.
Back to UA at night, everybody. Next up, we have
What are you doing with your shoulders, by the way? It's very distracting. You're standing there like moving your shoulders.
This is why I don't
Is
like
nerves?
doing I am a twitchy person. My mannerisms, and when I'm nervous, people can tell that I'm nervous. That's why I didn't go into TV, because I tried it. I was like, oh. Like, I thought I was killing it, and I went back and looked at it, and I was like, I don't like this at all. I don't like the way, it's not that I have a problem with the way I look. It's the way, like, I move. Like, my mannerisms, I don't feel like it's very performative. It's very theatric, and I don't like it.
Special guest, Elise Radulowski, and she is a super talented artist right here from the University of Akron. And she is majoring in painting and drawing.
I can't stop watching
Stay
the
tuned, because
shoulders
we're going to learn a little more about her and get a peek into what her autistic process is made of. And after that...
Autistic! What her autistic process is. I mean, the script is terrible, but you also can't read it.
Yeah.
Her autistic process. Oh, God.
Your autistic process.
I love it. We skip ahead here, find his.
Oh, well, let's get going.
I mean, by the way, it's not like the segments are any better.
Here
but,
we have
It's college.
I know.
Next up is a segment I've been waiting all night for. Here we have Colin Long, Clayton Schrock, Drew Baker, and Becca Tyler facing off in Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U. And whoever loses has the misfortune of eating a concoction of my choosing, which is some special scrambled eggs with a myriad of sauces, spices, and...
Myriad! They wrote myriad for him, and he said myriad. Poundcake. You sweet, sweet boy.
Now, in my defense, I don't know if it was spelled correctly.
What if it was? You would have just plucked myriad out of the air?
They probably should have spelled it phonetically for him.
Yeah, well, again, they put him in a bad spot.
It's my raid of the highway, baby.
A myriad of sauces.
I did it.
Myriad. Yeah.
Yeah, to sing that song at karaoke.
Anyway, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but he sent me that.
Oh, that makes me happy.
He's like, you guys were talking about Poundcake at University of Akron. Anthony. Talking about Poundcake guest hosting ZTV a couple years ago. I was actually there that night. So I knew where to find the video.
There's nothing worse than knowing you messed up by hearing the control room laugh. Like, I could hear them. It's supposed to be like soundproof glass. I could hear them when
yeah, because you don't have an IFB in or anything like that.
No, they threw me to the wolves. I'm standing there. I'm like, and I can see the clock. I can see like how much time we have left. But the guy running the teleprompter I must have been nervous and read really fast, or he should have just slowed it down for me so I could kill time. So I'm like, and that concludes our program for tonight. And I'm standing there, and it's like 27, 26, 25. Like, I'm standing there, and I'm just like, da-da-da-da. I'm like, okay, how can I buffer? How can I buffer? How can I, again, I'm still
You should have done like a freeze frame. Where you just like, you didn't move. Like
they told more stories about your grandma.
Well, that's what I was doing. I was freeze framing, and that's why they were laughing at me, because I'm trying to stand really still and not blink. Oh, God. Yeah. Again, TV Poundcake. I'm good in a conversational setting. I'm good, if you want.
You're off the cuff.
Off the cuff. But put me in front of a teleprompter and all those lights, and they're like, like when they tell me, stand right here and don't move. I'm like, uh-oh, I'm going to move, guys. Like, you can't tell me don't move.
Look at these shoulders. They can't stop moving.
Maybe that's
too twitchy.
Maybe that's the Italian in me. I talk with my hands. Even when I do the sports breaks and I watch it back sometimes, I'm like, can I stop moving my hands? No, I can't.
Yeah, but you're not. Well, the hands, that's okay. I mean, it's, you're clearly nervous, but it was the shoulder thing that was.
Again, I didn't.
He's hey, I can't stop moving my shoulders. Look at these. It's like I'm trying to stir the gravy.
Hey, stand right there. This is your spot. Don't move. I'm like, I gotta move. All I found was my old Starbucks commercial. I didn't find anything else.
There's no better opportunity on television than when you don't have to move. When you could just stand there. They go, okay, hey.
But
Be still.
I am a jittery person.
I
move. That's why even when I sit here in the chair, I'm constantly moving. Like I'm playing with my hair.
Why do you think that is? Why are you so twitchy like that?
I'm a twitchy guy. Like I don't know. It's not as deep as like Tourette's or something, but like it's definitely a tick.
Bill Poundcake has a myriad of issues.
He does.
Oh God.
This is my daughter Myraid.
Uh-huh. Oh. I love it.
Ticks and twitches. I've had a few.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, Myraid.
Alan, how did we go 8 years without seeing this? I thought we covered it.
Where it was.
Yeah, I thought it seemed vaguely familiar to me because we covered something like that a while ago.
When I did it, I talked about it. I said because the day of, I was like, I have to go down to Akron because they want me.
But didn't we look at the commercial you did?
Yeah, that was the commercial.
That was the commercial for this.
That was a national commercial. That was University of Akron's commercial. This is one of ZTV's student-run shows, and I was on the radio side, so I was doing WZIP. ZTV, they're serious about their stuff, and I never got a hosting position. It wasn't until I got on the radio that people were like, oh, maybe we should have put him in a hosting position because people will actually watch our stuff.
Are any of those kids... I keep forgetting you weren't there then. You were just going back to host. I was curious if any... So they weren't like your peers there. I wonder if any of those kids went on to do local television.
I'm sure they probably did. They worked all over. A lot of people... I mean, that program has a lot of...
it wasn't exactly a good-looking crew. I mean, that does still go for a lot.
Well, some people are production. Some people want to be the cameramen or teleprompter operators. It just depends. They have lighting guys. They have everything.
My rate of dishes, jobs they can do.
Alan, I was just at the store, and this old lady tried to jump in front of me and grab